Welcome to the Love Frequency, where we love frequently. My name is Ange, the Love Freak, and today we have Miss Star with Star's Crystals on the episode, because you know she always brings us some hot topics on crystals and some good information, and we love it. And I know what you're thinking. What is the Love Freak? What is Love Frequency? If you're just tuning in, well, it's all about really putting out higher vibrations so that we can live in a world that is filled with love and abundance. And in order to live in a world that's filled with love and abundance so that we can manifest what we desire, we have to understand what love truly is. We got to break it down to its root. We got to look at all sides of it, and we got to truly understand it so that we can live in it and really have that vibration emitting from us, because when we operate on that state, then we attract it. Yes. Like, because love is all about abundance.
It is.
And then having all that you desire. And so that's what the Love Frequency is essentially all about. So it's all about educating you and giving you the right tools you need, mind, body, and spirit. Anyways, today there was some interesting I'm part of this academy. Okay, first of all, Star, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
I just start getting into it. I said I'm the type of person, I just get right to the point. But I'm gonna say, how you doing, Star?
I'm like that, but I'm cool. I'm chilling.
Well, I'm glad that you're here today. We're actually doing something a little different. So we're gonna actually have YouTube video and podcast. So we're actually recording right now. So it's a little different. You know, we're experimenting and exploring with different things to do with the podcast, just to make it more interesting and more accessible to the viewers and the listeners out there. And so, thank you first and foremost, Star, for being here to talk about these lovely crystals. And it really sparked in me that when it comes to love frequency, we need to actually talk about what love usually kind of gets trapped around, and that's relationships.
Exactly.
You know, love is a totality to me, is everything, but people always attribute love to just relationships.
Yes. When the first thing they hear, when you hear of love, you just automatically think, oh, my, boyfriend,
spouse,
girlfriend, husband.
Exactly.
You're the person you're going to meet. And
yeah, you think love is just that. You think it's just partnership.
And so, a little box.
Yeah, but it's an aspect of it. It's a strong aspect of it, because it has to do with connection.
Yes.
And that's what we are. We're all unified and connected within this big realm, and within the universe we're all one. When you really consider it down to everything, we're all in this together. So therefore, when it comes to relationships and being connected with someone, of course, why would you not attribute it to love? I think it's a high what is it called, high representation, the highest representation of love. But so is being a mother. Yes. But then again, that's a relationship, right?
Mother, daughter, mother, son.
Yeah. But then also being a sibling, that's a relationship, family relationships.
Exactly.
So when it comes to romantic relationships, that's when it's the strongest.
Yes.
There's something about that romantic relationship that we get tied up in, and yet we seek it. We're seeking this ultimate, consummate love. And there's this thing, real quick, before we even get into the nitty gritty on what we're talking about today, because today I want to talk about soulmates. We're going to talk about twin flames.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about karmic soulmates, characteristics of twin flames, what is and what's not, and the evidence out there, and if you even really believe in it, which is if it's something that you need to believe in. But yeah, so I definitely want to touch on just that foundation.
Okay.
And I know it's something we all can relate to.
Yeah.
It's like we're all trying to get to this
at some point.
Yeah, and so I want to talk about first. I want to mention the triangular theory.
Okay, go ahead.
It is a triangle. So there's three sides, right? Obviously, it's a triangle. Triangle. And it's a theory, but it makes a lot of sense. And it's like there's different aspects of love. You have your passionate love, that's on one corner. Then you have your romantic love, that's there on the tip right there. And then you have your committed love. That's on the other one. Now, people can either be in one of these categories, two of these categories, but the ultimate goal and idea is to be in all three. And if you're in all three categories, that's consummate love. That means the love that we all want to attain. Because you want to have passion, romance, and friendship commitment in your relationship with your partner. Okay. But sometimes some people only have passion and romance, or what did I say? Passion and I said romance, right?
Yes.
Y'all better hurt me. But sometimes you have passion. Oh no, yeah, passion and romantic relationship, and that's one side. Because you can have that without being committed.
Exactly.
Right? But you're passionate, but y'all don't want to commit. Y'all don't want to be like, oh, this is my boo. Y'all want to just say, hey, we have this passion. Yeah, we just having fun. That's my friend with benefits.
There you go.
Then you can have your passionate and you're committed. That's those people that are super passionate and they commit themselves because of that passion, but they ain't even friends.
Yeah.
So that's that love that's a little that gets fiery and rocky and hot, messy. You know what I mean? Then you have your romantic love and commitment. So that's friendship. That's just a freaking friendship. That's my friend, but we have no passion. So and so you see how there's all things that can mess that up when you don't have them all together in alignment.
Exactly. When one's missing.
Right. So it's good to understand all those aspects. So when you're in your relationships, right, when you're building something with someone, that you can work on building all those aspects. And if you don't evaluate your relationships or reevaluate, what y'all are both putting in. If one person is putting in more than the other, then maybe you should reconsider.
Gotcha. Till you can find someone else that matches your all three too.
Yeah, that wants to do that. Like if you say you're with someone and y'all don't have the passion, but it's like, okay, either we figure out how we can build the passion, how we can get the passion,
and can you build it? Though?
And can you build it? Or is it possible?
Or does it need to be natural?
Does it need to be a natural connection? And that's when you have to question your situation. Can both people build this passion? And if not, then reconsider if you need to be together with this person.
Exactly.
And in what capacity you need to be in with this person.
Because you could still maybe have some kind of relationship.
A friendship.
But maybe they're not for you as far as a partner.
As a partner to keep moving on in life.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when I talk about abundance, we want all of that.
Yeah,
because that's fulfillment.
It's not being selfish. It's not being things you shouldn't settle on. And some people do settle because they don't feel like they can ever find all three. And then when you settle, then that's going to take years.
And that's one reason why I can't settle.
Yeah,
like I have never been able to settle because if I'm in a situationship or with someone, and that has been the journey of my relationships throughout my life, is because there's always something missing. It's like y'all can't give me the commitment. Okay, no, darling, or they can't give me that passion, and I'm like, no, darling, because I can't fake it. I can't fake it, and I'm not about to, because I like what I like.
Exactly, and that's not going to change. And people think, well, maybe if I just do this, it'll get better, or this, or...
I mean, because you know what I think that mindset stems from? That mindset stems from how marriage was created in the first place. Because marriage was actually created as a caste system, where people married off at their children to connect the families. And that's where it came from. It wasn't
about love or anything.
It wasn't. And so I think that carried on into our nowadays, to our now society, to where it's like, we feel like we have to get married because of this, and this, or if something works out, but it's like, it's missing something. And so it's like, should we seek that in our society still? Or is it time to now overcome that? Is it now time to rise above just settling so that we can get ahead in life and business and our generations? And should we get to a point now to where it's like, no, we need to find what's for us. So don't settle down. Don't even get married. Don't get married.
And that's a pressure too, that people feel that by a certain age they need to be married, or by a certain age,
girl,
you need to have a family. And then there's that aspect of it. And there's some people who marry too early,
way too
early, and then they feel like they need to hold on to their marriage because they don't want to feel like a failure, or as far as like having to divorce, or they stay for the kids.
Boom. I was about to mention that.
That's a big one, because it's like you don't want to break up the family. As far as the Black community too, there's that big stereotype or statistic about being a single Black mother, and it's like, well, you have that cases like, well, you're married and you don't want to be in that statistic, but you look at just society, and then that drives sometimes your decisions. Like, you don't want to be seen as this, or you don't want to be seen that, but you're not looking in yourself
within.
And what's good for you,
and what's good for your heart.
Exactly.
And that's the most important part, like when I talk about that self-love aspect. And with self-love, it stems upon what's in your heart. So when you're going against anything that's in your heart, it's not love. And a lot of I was reading Osho, the book The Power of Love, and he is so against marriage because of that. because of that. Because he's like, that's not really what love is, and people have it kind of messed up with what love actually is. He's all like, because love is not something you do, it's just what is.
Yes.
It's like, so when you're saying, oh, I'm falling in love, there's no such thing as, like, why would you want to fall into anything?
Yeah, that's cool.
Fall into a hole. But he speaks on rising in love. So that's why that foundation of friendship is always important. Like, we talk about that triangular theory, be a friend, and if that friendship stems off into other things, that passion and commitment, then it can be that. But, you know what I'm saying, if it doesn't, but it always has to have a friendship. Like, I've been in most situations, like when I was in my younger 20s, I thought more with my lower chakras.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, you're young.
We're young and we're not taught to rise above it in traditional society. So I was thinking about lower chakras, so you're thinking physical.
Yes.
And so I never was like in love with the people that I was in the situationships with. I never loved them, and it was never a friendship. It was just some kind of attachment. And so that's what gets me into what we're talking about today. So before I digress too much, because I do want to get into this, we have a special crystal here that actually stemmed from the conversation, and that's why I want to talk about soulmates, karmic soulmates, and twin flames, because that's when you start talking about attachment. And what is attachment? What's divine? Just connection.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between attachment and connection? So explain to me this crystal that we have sitting in front of us today, and what it looks like for the people out there that are listening in on the podcast.
Well, I'm going to kind of put it a little bit closer. This crystal is a clear quartz. It can be found in many, many, many forms. But this one right here, when you ever find a clear quartz that only has 2 pillars, then you have found a twin flame quartz. Mm-hmm. And this is very interesting, because when I came across this crystal, I kept seeing it and I kept looking at it, and I was like, it just drew to me. I was like, oh, I want it so bad. But then I was like, I don't need to spend any money on crystals today. So I left, if I kept going back, and I had to buy it. It was something, it's like, it just pulled towards me. And I had it for maybe about a month or two before I even knew what the 2 pillars meant.
It's just so pretty. That's why.
It is.
You know what? I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off too much.
No.
But I just want to make reference of the fact that when you pulled this crystal out, I instantly felt a strong vibration of this crystal. And not only that, it kind of looks like a heart. It looks like a heart because of the pillars and how they're shaped. So it actually looks like a heart. That's what I noticed. I just want to point that out too, to make reference on how powerful this crystal is.
Well, no, actually that's good, because that's one thing I do want to mention, is that clear quartz, no matter what form you get it, is one of the most powerful healing crystals that you can get. So in any form, it is a very powerful crystal. But the 2 represents twin flame. And it's one of those things where you don't even, like, I didn't know what this meant. It's just a funny story. I didn't know what it meant. So I just had it. And then I pretty much came across a person that was my twin flame. And I've heard about twin flames, soulmates, and I always thought it was interesting. But I don't think you ever fully believe it until you experience it. Because it's like, that's I knew about it, but to experience it is really
because when you know about it, when you know about something, you know about it. Yeah. But you're kind of like, it doesn't apply. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Like,
you can't experience a feeling until
you actually
it actually comes to you.
And for the people out there listening or even watching, that's what I want to break down, what a twin flame is and what soulmates are.
Yes.
So let's get into that, because I know you're wondering, like, a crystal, twin flame, what's all this craziness they're talking about? My gosh.
So let's explain.
Well, as we know, we're all aware of what a soulmate is. Soulmate connection. People always think, and they always confuse a twin flame with a soulmate. But the thing is, a soulmate, they say it can be anybody, A twin flame, they say you only have one. Like you say, they can. Let me say that again, darling. They said you can have many soulmates, not just anybody. You know what I'm saying? You have many soulmates, and then you only have one twin flame, one true connection. The twin flame vibrates at your resonance. Y'all are the same souls in different bodies. Before you incarnated on this earth, you made this agreement to come do certain things, learn certain lessons, so that you can be together to live out your divine mission for the world and for ascension and the totality of the planet. You know what I'm saying? For the higher mission, that God mission, the divine mission. That was the goal. So when you incarnated in different lifetimes, whether you believe it or not, it's what it is. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, because it can be broken down into this. So when you incarnate in different lifetimes, y'all weren't always together in different lifetimes. But in this time and space, a lot more people are finding their twin flames. And I think it's because of the internet. It's because people have more. So it's like you could have been in the same planet or same time, incarnated at the same time, but because there was not the access, you never got to meet your twin flame maybe in another life. But in this lifetime, because it's so accessible, you go there. And I want to talk about the difference between twin flame characteristics and karmic soulmates.
Yes.
So a lot of the times with the twin flame, they said there's different traits on how you identify what a twin flame is. They said with a twin flame, you have your runner, you have your chaser. They said the first stage in twin flame is recognition. So you recognize, okay, this person is something different. Like this is something different within this situation. Like who is this person? Like wow, who is this divine feeling? What is this? You know?
And then I would like that because a lot of times too, you know, you might be attracted to a certain kind of person, but you might feel this deepness or attractiveness to someone who's not necessarily maybe attractive to you, or to maybe somebody that you're used to like kind of liking. It's your kind type of person. Yeah, your type. You might.
And they said the twin flame is not usually. Type. Yeah, they say usually the twin flame is not your usual type. And they said sometimes you have similar looks, but not all the time. It's just somebody you're not usually attracted to, and you're like, whoa, I've never really considered somebody like this.
Yeah.
And so the difference is because that is that divine, like who, and then so you meet this person, you're like, what is this? Because this is not somebody I usually go for, but yet I like this person. There's something
that can't keep you away from
I cannot explain it. It's unexplainable. And then the next step is one or both, but usually it's one, is not ready for the union. They haven't reached that spiritual aspect to where they're ready for the union completely. It just depends on where they're at. Yeah. Some people do reunite with a twin flame and it works because they both recognize it, but initially one doesn't. And so one becomes a chaser, one becomes a runner in a sense, but it's only because it depends on where you're at in your elevation, evolution. So are you truly healed from everything in your karma? Are you truly healed? Are you whole within yourself? You're not looking for somebody to complete you. You're looking for two whole individuals to live out a divine mission. And so one person, maybe they got to experience something. They got to go through something to get whole.
Before they're ready.
So they're going to run away from you because they're not ready for the union. And a lot of times the chaser was like, wait, come together. You know, and so people trip out and they go crazy. And it's like, but you got to learn how to, and then that's the next stage. The next stage is surrender. You surrender it. You like
stop questioning.
You stop questioning. You just go and live your life. You do what you need to do to build yourself up, what you need to build up, and then eventually trust, have faith that the union is going to come back together and it's going to all work out for its good. Yeah. So in that sense, that means maybe if that person's running, you look within your own self and say, okay, what do I need to fix within me? So that I can just continue doing what I need to do, because maybe there's a few lessons that I need to learn still within myself, even though I feel like I'm ready. So I don't need to attach myself to this connection. I just trust this connection is going to come back to me. Exactly. And then another reason why they do run is because you're a mirror. That's another thing. The twin flame's a mirror to your soul.
You see yourself in that other person.
In that other person.
It can be scary.
And that's hella scary because what you do, like if you're not healed, they're showing you a lot of your shadow self. So you got to heal that shadows. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to reach into the depths of your soul, darling, before y'all can be together. And then once both are willing to heal those aspects, then that's when the union comes back together. After the surrender comes back the union. They come back together and they're able to live out the divine message. And so there's other steps. You can watch all kind of videos on YouTube about it, and that's the gist of what twin flames are. But I think, in a sense, do you have anything else to say in reference to that?
No, I just...
Sorry, because I know I can know it. I've done research on it.
Because, you can't really search for it. That's one, I guess I would put that. You can't search for it.
You can't.
It just happens.
It doesn't make sense to search for it.
Yeah, because you don't know what you're looking for. Because your soul is the only one that knows.
Yes.
So
the resonance
you can't
of your
search
spirit.
for it, but you will know because it's a
feeling.
It's a feeling.
Here I am talking like I'm
not deny it. You'll try to deny it, but there's no denying it. So
yeah,
that's pretty much wraps up.
And you do a lot of research. Mm-hmm. You start doing a lot of research. I started doing a lot of research years ago. And my situation with twin flame and how I even got into it, and I'm trying to differentiate and decipher the difference between a twin flame and a karmic relationship, because I had went through a situation in which I thought I found like this twin flame, because they say a lot of the times they're not in the same area, not in the same state, they say all kind of things. Mm-hmm. So I met this person, Facebook, crazy, like stay away from Facebook, it's the devil. No, I'm just kidding. No, I met this person via Facebook, and I was just doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? I was coming out of a situation where I had lost a lot of things in my life, and I was starting to rebuild my life again. And, I was losing friends. This is when my consciousness and all that was starting to emerge. I was in that dark phase. And this person came to my life, and they were very charming. You know what I'm saying? And we connected on a mental level, not on a physical level, because he wasn't someone that I was attracted to initially. Mm-hmm. I was like, I wasn't really into him until he started talking. He was like, hey, I'm interested in you, and what you have going on. He explained my situation to me exactly the way that I would want somebody to see that I'm doing. It wasn't a physical thing. He was like, I see you're grinding, you're a mother, and you're doing explaining what a woman want to hear, speaking to my heart. Speaking to my heart, he was a singer. He had a beautiful voice, and it was his intelligence. Like, so we had this connection. So when we talked, it was a connection, and I was like, wow, like we just vibe. And then it got to a weird point. Because I don't think I was ready. And I thought I was. I just wanted it. I just like, oh my gosh, I just want love. And I feel like this is love. And I feel like, or not even love, I just want to know more about this connection. I was so intrigued into what this connection was. I wanted to explore this connection. But the more I wanted to dig deep into this connection, the more this person disappeared. And then I wouldn't hear from them for months and weeks, and I just wouldn't hear from them. Then when I heard from them, it was still a cool conversation, because I wasn't mad or angry. I was just happy that we talked again, type deal. And in that time, because I was so hooked up on that idea, I wanted to explore it. It was so in my mind. Literally, I didn't really acknowledge the great things that were happening in my life at the time. Lots of beautiful things were happening in my life, but I just was a mess. I was a mess trying to figure out what it was, because it had my heart. So my heart couldn't be in other things. It wasn't in myself. I didn't have enough self-love at the time. And that's what I was seeing with that connection. And then when it finally got to a point where it hurt. It had to hurt for me to let go. It got to a point where it had to hurt, and I was like, I'm done. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I don't like the way it feels.
If it's not making you feel good,
I didn't like the way it feels. I was like, you know what? Let me just end this. So when that entity tried to come back, I was like, look, let's end this, because I don't know what it is, and it's not good for me. So let's be done with this. And from that point, it was gone. And then I did research, because something in my spirit said, the research is a little further. I'm trying to understand it. And I found out that it was a possible situation where it was a catfish situation. That's why this person never wanted to FaceTime me. They never wanted to meet me. And I was like, oh my God, have I been catfished? But it wasn't necessarily because of the physicality. I was like, if he had just been genuinely him, even if he had catfished me, if you had just been genuinely you, because of the connection we were,
it wouldn't matter.
We could have been friends, just because of the person I am.
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't have never judged him in any type of way. So, but the clarity never came. It only came through me doing some extensive research on what this connection was, because I was not going to move on without at least having some kind of idea what this connection was. Yeah. And I was like, if that is a catfish, I was like, nobody who is the other half of my spirit would do that, because I'm not that type of a person. So therefore, this must be a karmic situation where it had to show me an aspect of myself, and I had to learn something so I can move on and then find the true twin flame, right? Attract the true twin flame. And so that's the difference between, like I said, karmic relationships are someone that you knew in a past life, and you had to clear out some kind of karma. You know what I'm saying? Within your spirit, like they had to give you some kind of something
to pull out of you. Didn't know was there.
Yes. Something, a lesson in that. And what that lesson taught me in that situation was self-love. It taught me, wait, you need to love yourself a little bit more, because clearly you're not. Because clearly you're not, because life is not as beautiful as it needs to be. And so it literally took years for that self-love to kick in, but I kept going and focusing. And so it's just interesting that you brought up twin flames, because that's always something that resonated in my spirit. And then of course you have people that come to you and try to make it seem like they your twin flame, and I'm like, no, you're not, because I don't feel that.
Manipulators,
and I don't feel that way about a lot of people. And I feel like if it's a feeling, I definitely don't know that feeling just yet.
And a lot of people ignore those feelings, like when when somebody's not right for you. You know it, and because you try to push that aside.
It's lustful.
There you go.
If it's rooted in lust, because you just want to be attached to that person, like if you kind of, and that's why I tell people don't have sex like right away, like unless it's that commitment, unless you get to that commitment. Because it has to start with passion, right?
Yeah.
Or that friendship. It's that initial attraction. And then you go up the pyramid to that friendship. Then you build upon a friendship. Don't have sex. Just because you're passionate don't mean you have sex. And then you commit to yourself once you build that friendship. And then once you commit yourself, then the sex can solidify that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Knows that triangle.
And then that solidifies the union, and that's what true marriage is. Because marriage is just the connection of bringing together two energies, and that's what sex is. And that's why sex is so powerful, because people merge their energies through sex. Too like soon, and it gets distorted.
Yes.
And so I think that's interesting. So if you're out there and you're wondering what the twin flame, there's so much information out there.
Oh gosh, a lot.
Get you one of these twin flame.
But if you ever come across this, and like I said, don't search for your twin flame or anything. But if you do ever come across and you feel like you're ready for something to come into your life when you're not expecting it,
so maybe I'm glad you brought this here, because maybe mine's closer than I even knew. No,
because you felt the energy.
I felt a strong resonance of this crystal. Like when I tell you, I'm glad that you brought it here today, because there was a reason. Awesome. It was a divine reason why. But make sure y'all stay tuned. In the podcast, if you're watching the podcast, make sure you stay tuned, because Star is going to go more in depth about this particular crystal, and how you can find it, what is its resonance, its properties, all that stuff. You know how we do on the Love Freq. We get down and dirty with some crystals, but in a good way. And so make sure you stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in now. I thank you so much, Star, for coming. Any input that you want to put on twin flames? Karmic soulmates.
I think I've said enough about the twin flames. But we did say about the soulmates that it could be anybody.
Yeah.
Friendships,
family,
anybody.
My sister's my soulmate.
See, that could be.
She's part of my soul tribe. Like my soul tribe, and anybody who's listening on the Love Freq who vibing with us, you're part of the soul tribe as well. You know what I'm saying? Because your soul tribe is friendships, people that support you in your journey, etc. So everyone has a soul tribe and everyone's connected. Then we realize we're all part of the same tribe, but there's of course subgroups within the major group. So you gotta find that tribe that resonates more strongly with your energy now.
Exactly.
There's people that resonate and you're like, hey, we're kindred spirits, you're just like me. Well, you're just like me. Hey, let's be friends. And then that's how you know. That those can be soulmates.
Trust your feelings.
Trust your heart.
That's all I can really say. Trust what you're feeling inside when you're around anybody.
And make sure you're happy, healthy, and healed, and make sure your heart is open and your heart is protected, and that you're in tune with its vibration so that you can recognize it when it does come, so you don't get confused by it as well. And love yourself enough so that you don't get knocked off or misguided by it or attached to that idea or the wrong person.
Yes.
That karmic situation that you were supposed to learn from and move on from, but you still dealing with. Yeah. No, don't do that. But anyway, like I said, check out Star's crystals coming up for you next. And also make sure you tune in every week. We're going to have guests. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTubes. And I'll have those links at the bottom. Thank you so much for checking into the Love Freq. As you know, we are here to increase vibrations and spread love throughout the world. And we'll talk to you later. My name is Ange. I am the Love Freq, and this is Star.
Star.
She is a love freak too. Hey. And we'll talk to you later. Adios.
Bye-bye.